Olive oil might be feeding pancreatic cancer. Yeah, the stuff you've been drizzling on everything because it's heart healthy. A new study just found it could be the exact fuel a deadly tumor needs to grow. Let me back up because this one genuinely shook me. You've been told for years that fat is fat is fat. Cut calories, lose weight, that's the whole game. But a fresh study out of the research world, published through Science Daily on June 2nd, 2026, just blew that lazy thinking apart. The headline is brutal in its simplicity. One fat helped pancreatic cancer grow. Another fat cut the disease in half. Same animals, same genetics, different fat. Wildly different outcomes. So what's the villain here? Oleic acid. That's the main fat in olive oil. It's also in avocados, almonds, canola, a bunch of the foods you probably consider clean eating staples. In mice that were genetically predisposed to pancreatic cancer, oleic acid sped up tumor growth. Sped it up, the tumors moved faster, grew more aggressively, behaved worse. And what's the hero? Omega-3s. The fats you get from fish oil. Salmon, sardines, mackerel, the supplement bottle sitting in your kitchen cabinet you keep forgetting to take. In the same predisposed mice, omega-3 rich fats dramatically slowed the disease. Cut it in half. Now I need you to pause and let that sink in, because the implications are massive. This isn't a study about how much fat you eat, it's about which fat. The total amount on your plate might matter less than the type of molecule you're chewing on. Think about how that flips the script. You've been counting macros. You've been hitting your fat grams. You've been told a gram of fat is 9 calories, and that's the whole conversation. But your cells don't see calories. Your cells see molecules. And different molecules whisper completely different instructions to your DNA. Oleic acid, in this study, apparently whispered grow. Omega-3s whispered slow down, same animal, same cancer risk. The fat at dinner decided what happened next. Now, before you dump your olive oil down the sink, let's be honest about what this study actually is. It's mice. Mice that were already predisposed to pancreatic cancer. That's a specific loaded setup. It is not a human trial. It does not mean a Mediterranean diet causes cancer. Real humans eating real diets are a much messier, much more complicated story. But here's why you should care anyway. Pancreatic cancer is one of the deadliest cancers we know. The survival rates are bleak. So when researchers find that something as simple as switching the dominant fat in the diet can dramatically change the trajectory in animals predisposed to it, that is not a footnote. That is a flare in the dark, and it lines up with something the fitness world has been getting wrong for a decade. You've been worshiping olive oil, drizzling it on salads, cooking your eggs in it, buying the expensive cold-pressed bottles like they were medicine. Meanwhile, the omega-3s, the actual rare and hard-to-get fat in the modern diet, you've been ignoring. Skipping the fish, forgetting the capsules, getting almost none of it from your day-to-day food. The ratio in your body is probably wildly off. Most people walking around right now are running on a fat profile that looks nothing like what their biology was built for. Heavy on oleic, heavy on omega-6 from seed oils. Barely any omega-3, and the cells inside you respond to that imbalance every single day. This study is one more crack in the wall, so what do you actually do with this? You don't panic, you don't throw out the olive oil, you don't start chugging fish oil by the bottle. You think about the ratio, you think about balance, you think about whether the fish on your plate this week is showing up 0 times or 2 times, because that one shift might do more for your long-term odds than any supplement stack you've ever bought. You ask yourself when the last time was you actually ate salmon, or sardines, or mackerel, not as an Instagram photo, as a regular Tuesday. You ask yourself why every health influencer pushes olive oil like it's holy water when the actual studies are getting more complicated by the month. And you ask yourself what else you've been told is clean that your cells might disagree with. Because here's the thing about nutrition science. It moves. It corrects itself. 10 years ago, eggs were going to kill you. 20 years ago, fat was the enemy. 30 years ago, margarine was the hero. Every decade, the consensus reshuffles, and the people who get hurt are the ones who locked in too hard on the last version. The smart move isn't to pick a side. It's to stay curious, to diversify the fats you eat, to not pretend any one food is a magic bullet, and to not pretend any one food is poison either, because the mice in this study didn't get cancer from olive oil. They were already predisposed. The fat just changed how fast the disease moved. That's a different claim. That's a more interesting claim. That's the kind of claim that says your diet might not cause the disease, but it might absolutely shape what that disease does once it's there. And that should change how you think about food. Not as calories, not as macros, not as Instagram aesthetics, as chemistry, as molecular instructions hitting your cells thousands of times a day, telling them whether to calm down or to push harder. Oleic acid in mice predisposed to pancreatic cancer told the tumors to push harder. Omega-3s in the same mice told the disease to slow down, dramatically, by half. That's the study, that's the finding, that's the wake-up call. So the next time you're standing in the kitchen, a bottle of olive oil in your hand, ask yourself a simple question. Are you eating enough of the other fat too? The one from the ocean. The one your great-grandparents probably got way more of than you do. The one that in this study was the difference between a fast cancer and a slow one. Because in the end, you are not what you eat. You are what your cells do with what you eat. And the fat you choose decides a lot more of that conversation than anyone ever told you. One fat fed the fire, another one starved it. And the bottle on your counter doesn't tell you which one it is.